sources have told us that the ED mobile record data shows that Manish Sisodia, who was accused number 1, had also changed his mobile number several times. But Kavitha also had done just that. Between 2021 and 2022, apparently 2 different mobile numbers were used by her, and 6 times she had changed her IMEI number. Manish Sisodia, who is also accused number 1, of course, in the case, he is of course currently behind the bars. He had changed the IMEI number of his 4 different mobile phones 14 times in the same time period. Then you have Kailash Gahlot. He had handled a single SIM number, and he allegedly changed the IMEI number 3 times between 2021-2022. So similar pattern was also there as per the Enforcement Directorate in the case of another one of the accused, Kavitha, whom we've been telling you about. And of course, similar patterns were also seen in the case of Sunny Marwa, Sameer Mahendru as well. But why is all of this important? Because remember, when it comes to destruction of evidence, there could be critical evidence which may have been destroyed. But right now, the kind of face-off that we've seen in the courtroom is over the arrest of Kavitha. But why is Kavitha and the BRS claiming that her arrest is illegal? Let's show you what Kavitha's lawyer had written to her in a letter which he had written to her yesterday, claiming that the ASG had given a statement that there will be no coercive action against her before the Supreme Court hearing. In fact, we have that letter there on your screens. Also, we have the excerpts written out for you. He has written that the Supreme Court was about to pass an order on protection or on restraint, which would have been on the 19th. The ASG had said that there was no such action which will be taken. No such coercive action such as that of arrest will be taken. He also says that the matter was fixed for a final hearing, and then disposal was on the 19th of March. But right ahead of that, on 15th of March, remember, Kavitha was arrested. He has gone on to say that the ASG had sought to retract and also take back the statement. However, that did not happen, and that the Supreme Court did not acknowledge the same. Now let's also show you what exactly it is that the sources are saying, because it all comes down to what happened in the courtroom. So in the second graphics, we are going to show you not just what has been told by the lawyer of Kavitha to Kavitha, but also what, as per sources in the Enforcement Directorate, they have said that there was no protection from arrest which was given by any of the higher courts. Now all of this, of course, goes all the way back to what's happening in the courtroom right now. The first graphics that we were showing for you is what was being said by Kavitha's counsel, and we juxtapose that with what exactly has been said by the ED's counter, to which Kavitha's attack had been that there was an oral undertaken by the ASG which was given against the arrest, to which the ED's counsel had said there was no such statement in the court of no coercive action which is going to be taken. Kavitha's counsel says that there were words of an officer of a court must hold value, to which ED has said you can't go exclusively by news reports that there was any such undertaking, completely denying that the ASG had given any kind of undertaking for this. In fact, we have BRS's member Basaju Sarman, who's joining us here on the phone line as well. Mr. Sarman, it's interesting right now, even as we speak to you, your counsel is now contending that this arrest is illegal, but the Enforcement Directorate has said that it's not illegal. There was no such undertaking given by the ASG in the first place.
It is absolutely right. It's a classic case of selective and vindictive weaponization of Enforcement Directorate and CBI and the income tax departments in this country. And this is a very classic case. When the matter is subjudized in the Supreme Court, when the Enforcement Directorate emphatically tells the Supreme Court that it does not want to precipitate the matter till the final hearing on 19th is done. We don't understand what was the hurry for the Enforcement Directorate. This is only to create some kind of a havoc in the Bharat Rashtra Samiti in Telangana just before the declaration of the election code or election schedule. Just on the arrival of Mr. Narendra Modi to Telangana, they wanted to create this havoc, and this is a sort of a ploy to weaken the...
Mr. Shravan, sorry to interrupt you. You are saying that this is completely political. First, the ED has said, the council has said that no such undertaking was given by the by the ASG inside the courtroom. But you've linked it to the Prime Minister's rally. Yes, indeed, he did have a roadshow in Hyderabad yesterday, roughly at the same time. But this has been an ongoing probe. The BJP has said that Enforcement Directorate has been carrying out this probe twice in the past also. 1 year back also, K. Kavitha had been part of the probe. 1 year back, one wouldn't have known.
Madam, I think you rightly picked up the right argument. If we are saying that the undertaking was given by the Enforcement Directorate, and if Enforcement Directorate is saying that they have not given, who should clarify? Neither me nor you would be able to clarify, but it is the Supreme Court to clarify, number one. Number two is that we are not, our counsel is not that uninformed that they would not take preventive action if in case the Enforcement Directorate has not given that undertaking. So therefore, they are only trying to bulldoze. They are only trying to bulldoze.
Is there an order by the Supreme Court or any court saying that there can be no preventive action?
No, the court has clearly, they've asked the Enforcement Directorate and therefore they have given that undertaking, right?
I wouldn't know that, sir, because I wasn't in the courtroom, but there is no such thing which is coming out in the from the courts in the order of in the form of a written order, which is why again it's becoming a he said, she said in the courtroom even as we speak. But thank you so much and appreciated Mr. Saravan for joining us here on Times Now. Well, in fact, let's also tell you a bit about what's going to be the way forward. Remember, the Enforcement Directorate's key witnesses against K. Kavitha, were they being forced to turn hostile? That is one of the biggest charge which has been leveled by the Enforcement Directorate. Why do we say that? Because one of the key statements which have come against K. Kavitha is that of a man called Mr. Pillai. In fact, you can see how Pillai may have been, as per top sources in the agency, claiming that the BRS MLC and of course the Chief Minister's daughter K. Kavitha had coerced, as per sources, coerced Arun Pillai to retract the statement that he had made against her in the Liquor Gate probe. Now remember, he had in fact said, this was on a 10th of March last year. He had filed an application in court. He had retracted his statement to the Enforcement Directorate, claiming that he was being pressurized by the agency. Now the opposition parties in Telangana have claimed that the Chief Minister's daughter has misused. In fact, the BJP has said that the Chief Minister's daughter has misused her own position. But this is very important for us to also remind you of the next graphical representation that what we are going to show you as to what really is it that Arun Pillai has said. In fact, you have that on your screens right now. Was he forced to turn hostile? What he had said is that K. Kavitha and Aam Aadmi Party had an understanding. This is the very statement that, remember, later on Arun Pillai tried to retract. He had also gone on to say that there was 100 crore rupee kickbacks which were paid for stakes in Indo Spirits by K. Kavitha's South Group. He also had represented K. Kavitha in Indo Spirits, and this is something he had said in his own statement that he had given in March last year. He went on to say, I became a partner on K. Kavitha's behalf as well. This is the statement against K. Kavitha which has now been retracted. Meanwhile, let's get you some of the other voices also which have been coming in.
पहली मुद्दा तो ये है, बीजेपी अपना पॉलिटिकल थिंग्स को एक जगह पे रखती है और इस प्रकार के स्कैम्स को एक अलग जगह पे रखती है। जब कविता जी का अरेस्ट हुआ है ईडी से, तो हम सबको एक बात जानना पड़ेगा, एक डिपार्टमेंट ने 100% सब जानने के बाद अपना जिम्मेदारी निभाई है। इसमें ना पॉलिटिक्स के लिए जगह है, ना भाजपा के बारे में बात करने की जरूरत नहीं है। हाँ, एकमात्र क्योंकि वो कविता है, वो बीआरएस के पार्टी के हैं, इसलिए हम उसको पॉलिटिकल बना दे रहे हैं। गलत करोगे तो सजा भुगतोगे। उन्होंने गलती की है और सजा भुगत रही है।
So will K. Kavitha get any relief, or will ED get its custody for custodial interrogation? That has been the plea. We'll have to wait and see. All the latest developments coming in from the Rouse Avenue Court. We'll get you right here on Times Now. For the time being, however, a short break.